Have you ever listened to an intake call and thought, this person is just reading a script? Flat tone, rigid questions, no empathy, no real connection. I've been there, and the truth is this: the difference between a scripted call and a thoughtful one is the difference between a lost lead and a new client. Today we're talking about why scripts alone don't work, and how team dynamics, training, and psychology can turn your intake team into thoughtful, adaptable, high-performing communicators who convert more clients. Why scripts alone don't work. Scripts aren't the enemy, they're a starting point, not the final product. But when your team hides behind the script, your intake process falls short. I once listened to a call where the intake rep was glued to question 6, while the potential client had already told her story twice. 3 minutes later, click, the caller hung up. That's what happens when structure replaces humanity. From a psychology standpoint, clients need to feel validated before they can trust us. Carl Rogers called this client-centered communication. Empathy, reflective listening, emotional acknowledgement. When clients feel heard, they open up. When they don't, they shut down. And intake reps who rely solely on scripts miss those powerful cues. The hesitation, the sigh, the pause. Those moments are openings to build trust. Understanding team dynamics. Team dynamics are the invisible threads that determine how well your intake team performs. Harvard's Amy Edmondson found that psychological safety is the strongest predictor of team effectiveness. And in intake, this shows up as collaboration. Reps share tough calls and learn together. Accountability. Performance metrics are clear, not punitive. Peer coaching. Feedback flows sideways, not just top-down. One small firm increased conversions from 65% to 85% in 6 months without changing scripts, simply by adding weekly team huddles. The culture changed, the calls improved, the numbers followed. Moving from talking points to thinking points. So how do we move teams beyond sounding robotic? By training them to think, not just talk. Here's what that looks like. 1. Teach why and what next questions. These lead clients deeper and uncover real case-qualifying details. 2. Encourage curiosity. Curious reps catch things scripts miss. 3. Role-play adaptive scenarios. Criers, yellers, language barriers. Confidence grows with practice. 4. Highlight empathy as a conversion tool. Empathy isn't soft, it builds trust, and trust signs clients. Cognitive psychology tells us adaptability improves problem solving. An adaptable rep becomes a guide. A scripted rep becomes noise. Practical intake optimization strategies. Optimizing intake doesn't mean throwing away scripts. It means turning them into adaptable frameworks. Here's how. 1. Audit your scripts for engagement barriers. Listen for moments where calls sound transactional. Replace cold, mechanical phrasing with empathetic transitions. For example, instead of jumping straight to, "What's your date of birth?" after someone describes an accident, try, "That must have been frightening. Thank you for sharing it. May I confirm your date of birth so we can get started?" Small change, big impact. 2. Replace yes/no prompts with open-ended questions. Narrative disclosure builds trust and reveals crucial details. 3. Use frameworks, not word-for-word scripts. One proven framework is screen to sell to sign to schedule. It provides structure without stripping away authenticity. 4. Hold weekly call review sessions. Reviewing real calls together creates reflection, learning, and improvement. Firms using 30-minute weekly call sessions consistently see conversion jumps of 10 to 20% within 90 days. Performance training that sticks. One-time onboarding won't cut it. Performance training has to be continuous because intake is the heartbeat of your firm. Coaching and mentorship build confidence. Peer feedback builds community. Dashboards make progress visible and motivating. Organizational psychology tells us that people thrive when they feel competent, connected, and autonomous. and intake reps who feel supported improve fast. I've seen low performers improve 20% or more when they're given consistent coaching and clear feedback. Building a culture of legal intake excellence. When intake reps understand their mission, answering phones becomes something deeper. They become the first impression, the empathetic listener, the connector to relief and resolution. Strong team dynamics create strong client experiences. Social identity theory shows that people give more when they feel part of something meaningful. Intake reps who feel valued deliver at a higher level, and they stay longer. Turning insight into action. Scripts give structure, but real intake success comes from the people behind the script, their empathy, their adaptability, and their ability to connect. When you invest in team dynamics, continuous training, and intake optimization, you move from rigid scripts to meaningful conversations that build trust and convert clients. If you're ready to build an intake team that thinks, connects, and closes, visit carriejames.co for training, tools, and support. Your intake team is your growth engine. Let's help them operate at their highest level.